Hi, welcome to the visual arts community for teachers just like you, elementary art teachers. I'm Sarah Rising and the moderator for this group. In this episode, I'm going to share some painting ideas you can use in the art room. These are images I've put together that I've collected over the years with lots of why didn't I think of that ideas. I've tried to give credit to the originators, but in lots of cases, these are reposts, so I don't have the original sources. So if it's something you did, let me know so I can give you credit for it. Take a few minutes to watch this video and participate in the discussion question. I will include the link to this presentation if you want to go back and use any of these sources. And I can't wait to hear all the ideas that you guys are using as well. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any updates and any of the discussions or any of the fun. All right, here we go. So this is just some teacher tips that I have come across, ideas that they have shared, and I'm just going to read them over very quickly for you. So as we all know, describing in detail everything the kids need to do and show them the right way as well as the wrong way to do it when painting. Students have never been taught how to clean up, so and from year to year they need to have a refresher on how to do it. Take a photo of your supplies stored the way you want them and displayed in a visible place. That way the kids can return the supplies exactly like the picture. Another idea, making a video about how you like things done is a great way to give reminders and help those kids maybe who are new to the school or who had been absent on the presentation day. And then finally, display non-examples such as ruined paintbrushes and palettes. This teacher noted that she had an old brush with dried paint on it, and let the students see that so they know what happens when you don't take care of the materials. I've noted the source for this at the bottom of the screen. All right, liquid watercolor. If you haven't used it yet, run out and get some. It is amazing. The colors are really, really bright and they seem like a little overwhelming in the beginning, but once you start using them, the kids love it. Their pieces come out amazing. You can limit your palettes if you're using containers like this pill dispenser that I came across. The lids are easy to open and close. You can dump out just one color if it gets polluted. The yellow always seems to be the one that gets polluted the most because the dirty brush goes in the yellow and the yellow's not yellow anymore. And then I was having trouble with these getting a little rancid and stinky after a few weeks. And I did find someone posted that if you use distilled water, when you dilute them, it keeps your paint fresher longer. Mixing colors. This is going to be both with watercolor and tempera paints, but using visual reminders on the pump bottles. Those are hand sanitizer bottles. Using those visual reminders to help the kids remember how to mix colors. Using water droppers with containers to let them mix their liquid paints and have those ready to go. And then creating posters with all the range of colors is a great visual for the kids to have on hand as well. You can also have the kids make them. All right, teaching watercolor skills. We all know it's an important skill, and you can make a poster or print out one of the many of these you can find online. Would be kind of a cool assignment for the kids to do as well. But these are just a couple that I found online. And if your school has a large format printer, maybe they can print one of these out for you. And 3 more examples of painting techniques. Let the kids experiment and let them try out all these techniques. I like to spend a day or two when we begin a new paint media just to see how it works. Loved finding this idea on kidsactivitiesblog.com. Letting the kids use the brushes to see all the marks and the different ways the brushes work. You can also use it as a time to reflect, and you can talk about how the brushes felt in their hands, what kind of lines and shapes they created, which ones work best for which items. And then in a minute, you'll see ideas for sorting them. Cleanup using, again, visuals. So creating some kind of poster that's up and easy for the kids to see and takes them through all the steps of how you want them to clean up in your class. All right. So here are some painting prep and setup ideas that you can use. The picture on the left is just a divided tray, and I put a sponge in there. The cup fits in one of the compartments, and the nice thing about that is the cups don't spill. Put everything in those containers and then set them up on the tables, and then when it's clean up, they can put them right back in the containers, so it's a super speedy cleanup. The other setup I've used on the right is the stackable trays. Someone gave me these. I think they were lids to boxes that they didn't use, but you can also get the cafeteria trays, and for a really reasonable price. And anything that stacks and stores and is ready to go. But you'll see also I have the puppy pee-pee pads on there, and I'll tell you about those in just a sec. So a couple of things here. Pre-spraying your watercolors before you get started is a really good idea. My kids often don't get enough water in their paints, and then their colors are very dull. So I like to spray them or have the kids spray them first. Also, when you run out of paints in your pricey paint palettes, keep some tube watercolors on hand, squirt them in there, and then let them dry. You do have to be careful if they're not dry. The kids will use them as if they were tempera paints and then use up all those liquid watercolor or use up all those tube colors. So do that in advance and let them dry before you put them out. All right, so splash-free setups, magnets. Remember in the previous video, we talked about muffin tins being your best friend. So what I do, hot glue a magnet on the bottom of a cup, and then pop that cup in the muffin tin, and it makes for a spill-proof cup. And then using the condiment cups with lids allows you to stack those up. That can be with liquid watercolors or tempera paints. And I also, I don't know if you can see it on there, I put colored tape in front of the paint palettes so that the kids know what the colors are, because when those liquid watercolors are in there, you can't always tell the difference between orange and red sometimes. And then the puppy training pads, I found this one years ago, but love these. When you have a spill, they absorb all that. They're great for wiping off your paintbrushes, and you can reuse them over and over and over again. So at the end of the day, we just set them up on the drying rack and let them dry. All right. I love to add the gold liquid watercolor to my liquid watercolors, and it makes for lots of oohs and ahs. You can see in the bottom picture, I tried to photograph it. It can't really tell that much, but you can see in the little video. But the kids get so tickled when they see their art the next day and they see all of that glitter that shows up in there. Advanced color theory. This is a great way to use your tube watercolors. And again, I put them in the palette, let it dry, and takes the mystery out of what happened to the purple when I mixed blue and red. So using, the warm and cool reds, using the warm and cool blues and the warm and cool yellows is an advanced way to teach color theory. I like to teach it right away so that the kids understand it. And I really think even at a young age, they can grasp that concept. All right, some teacher ideas, color-coded brushes in the middle. I see where the brushes are colored, the brush heads, and that's a fantastic idea. Using the puppy or kitty bowls with water and then maybe putting a sponge on one side is a great way to avoid buckets being spilled. And then I love that drying hack up here in the right-hand corner, using one of those boxes and popping the paintbrushes through there so they don't get all bent out of shape. All right, I've included here a link with a Cassie Stevens introducing painting to children. And she does an amazing job with her procedures and getting this introduced to our younger kids. So if you want to watch this at the end of the video, I will include the link to this presentation, and you can come back in here and watch that video. And that is it. So if you wouldn't mind, share some of your favorite art room painting tips in this discussion. I know I didn't cover a whole lot of other kind of paints that we could use. For us, we pretty much stick to tempera paint and watercolor paint, but any other ideas that you have, share them out with us. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.